what this specific post is pertaining to. But I basically said, damn, let me just find the post real quick. But this post was in reference to the Juneteenth event that I did, right? If me saying the word fuck one too many times in a speech offends you more than 60 plus bullets hitting a young brother, then we don't stand for the same shit. So I did my first event, the Leon Block Independent Media, in honor of Juneteenth, right? Well, a lot of those things in that event left a bad taste in my mouth. There was some issues that came across, so there's a reason why I really haven't spoken much on it, right? There was an issue with some people. I know that the event was kid friendly, right? That's a given. One of my speakers had a piece that they spoke that had a lot of cuss words in it, right? Thing is, I'm not going to police another black man. I'm not going to tone police another black man and tell him what he can and can't say. I can tell him what I expect. I can tell him what I want. But yeah, bro. Yo, Matt. Yeah, Matt, I'm going to tell you about that in a bit because I'm going to touch on the Vigil. So if you're watching, just stay tuned because I'm going to tell you about that too. Speaking of Matt, my brother Matt, Psalmist Matthew, was actually performing. Things kind of went impromptu. He had a piece that he got up and spoke. He dropped some excessive fuck bombs, and it was loud. People didn't like it. Some people did not like it, right? Those same people I hear tone policing a black man for his words, I don't hear saying anything about Jayland Walker. You can talk all this shit about what I did and didn't do or what I should and shouldn't have done. But the work that I do, the work that I'm out here for, I don't see you saying anything about that. And that speaks volumes to where your work lies and what you're actually fighting for. And I'm just going to call it like I see it. I'm just going to be real about it because I'm just going to be real about how I feel, right? If you claim to be an ally, be an ally. Do the work. And what comes with that work is being criticized at times. You may not like what you hear, but listen to a black brother when he speaks about you. That's the whole point of this, right? There's going to be moments where I've gotten white people hitting me up, white girls about being upset about this, that, and the third, being checked, and they cry. The tears is part of the process for you white people. Getting defensive for some of y'all is going to be part of the process. So don't think that you're above any of that. Just because you've done all this work and you feel like you're an ally doesn't mean that you're going to have some days where you're going to have to check yourself. And you may get defensive and you may cry all over again when you thought you did all the work and you didn't have anything else to learn. Guess what? We all got shit to learn every fucking day. There's something new to learn every day. That part. For real. The thing is, the Juneteenth event, right? It was my first event. I made it work. I did what I do. I'm proud of, everything. I'm proud of the speakers that spoke. I'm proud of the people who sung, who did their spoken word, who did poetry, who danced. I'm proud of the history and the information that I brought forth, because y'all know how I am about history. It's important, and I like to infuse as much information with history to inform y'all about why we're at where we're at as much as possible, right? So I'm extremely happy that the story of the Christianity resistance was told. 40 black men fighting for fighting back against a slave owner trying to capture his quote unquote property. They killed the slave owner, were tried for treason, and got off. 40 men lived to tell this tale. One of my ancestors was one of those people. Okay. This is big. This is big for American history. It's big for black history, and it happened right in my backyard. So the thing is, being able to tell that story was the most important thing for me. I didn't care how anything else went. All right. And with that being said, I still wouldn't change anything. Everything happens for a reason. And Matt, my brother, I'm thankful for everything. I'm thankful for brotherhood. I'm thankful for everything you've taught me, but I'm also thankful for you doing that performance. Not gonna lie, for real. This is what I'm saying, yo. Solidarity. I just want to say real quick, like going to places and networking, connecting with people and people uniting. Like Chaz, Charles Neal, you're from Minnesota, and Matt, you're from PA here, where I'm from, but we're in two different parts of PA, right? And we all touched down on Akron, Ohio, and made connections. And those connections will last. Those connections will help us to connect with other people and help us vibe on knowing what's going on in our own respective areas, so we can continue to connect and yes, continue to spread the word. Minneapolis, stand up. You already know. Yeah, real quick. For real. For real. This is camaraderie. This is solidity, and this is what community looks like. For real. Back to what I was saying. I have a lot of fucks to throw around, and anybody who wants them can get them. I'm not going to take back what happened, especially after I sit and I watch. I sit and I pay attention to who's speaking, who's out there doing the work. And what I've noticed is the past couple of weeks, even with all the stuff going on with the conservative ass Supreme Court and the decisions that they've been making, right? All the shit that they've been making, I don't hear anyone speaking about that. I don't hear anyone speaking about Jayland Walker, Dante Perez Jones, and I want the proof to be in that pudding. I want things to speak for themselves on that note too. And with that being said, when it comes to going places and standing up for your people, you also have to, when you go into someone else's home, right, you got to show respect to their home. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so clearly you're not understanding what I'm saying, and you're proving my point. Completely proving my point. All right. Silence is violence. Silence is violence. And actually, with that being said, I've been silent on this too, which doesn't help the situation. I am speaking about it now, but I should have spoke about it before. That part. Juneteenth, no matter how you cut it, there's going to be things that may come about when it comes to speaking about the trauma of our people that you can't police, you can't tone down. I I can't grab a mic from someone and tell them shut the fuck up, especially another black man. Point blank, period. He said what he said. I look. My part is the silence. My part is understanding where a black man is coming from. My part is understanding where black people are coming from. My point is understanding where being pushed to the side or where not being heard comes from. It's just jumping down someone's throat as for what you didn't like about one little piece of what they did. And those things are things that can be discussed in private. The point that I'm making is about the silence that I'm hearing many white people enact right now concerning Jayland Walker, concerning Randy Cox, and concerning Dante Perez Jones. I'm not seeing or hearing anyone stand up. I'm not seeing or hearing any of these said people out on the streets. I'm not hearing or seeing anyone post anything or anyone donate to any organization, let alone my platform to share and spread the information. So what are you standing for? I'm offended. I'm hurt. My trust is broken. Everything I do is with love, with respect, thought out, with compassion. I know what I'm doing and I think it through before I do it. The things that happened at the first event that I did could have been prevented with my help. My help wasn't received. Multiple times I offered my help prior to the event even taking place. And my services, my expertise, and my help was ignored and turned away. That hurt. So when things hit the fan, I'm not going to sit there and say, I told you so. But stuff happened. Now, don't take me out of my element. Please don't take me out of my element. Because one thing I do want to talk about, and I did share this TikTok, it's way back. It's way back on my joint, right? You have to go to the Leon Block Independent Media Facebook page and really scroll down. There is a TikTok that this brother did, right? And he said the craziest part that I hate about being black, and it's fucked up that we even have to say that. It's fucked up that we even have to say what we hate about the experience of being a black man. But it is what it is, right? The thing that he said that he hates about being a black man is the fact of we can't really be passionate and speak out and be upset and loud and mad and spaz out like any other kind of person without being villainized or someone claiming that they're scared or upset. Do you know how hard it is to have to walk on eggshells your whole life, essentially, trying to put your niceness and your loving and kindness to the forefront? Because the minute that you, quote unquote, get out of character, as they say, it's a problem. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm talking about security. Again, these are things that can be discussed in private, and you're taking away from the exact point of what I'm talking about. You're literally, why do you keep deflecting? And why are you getting defensive? Those go back to what I just talked about at the beginning of this podcast. I'm not reiterating myself. I'm not going to sit here and educate. I don't have to. And that's taking emotional baggage and labor that I really don't need to do right now. I need to keep focused. So actually, that does give a nice segue, though, to the point of what this whole episode is about. Because the whole episode was not about the fucks that I have to give or throw around. This episode is actually going to be about Destiny and the Vigil that took place on Friday. Destiny is an amazing young person, very humble, very powerful individual. I really appreciated uh, their openness and willingness to not only welcome people into their city, but really try to show what her city could be about when it comes to uh, being transparent with grieving. Our people don't really always have the chance to openly grieve together and share that emotion together and openly let it out without any repercussions, or you know what I'm saying. And the way that that event was intended to be, I dug it. I felt it from the jump. And so there was some disagreements that for people that were there may have picked up on, so maybe some didn't. If you have watched my live and you happen to be tuning in, you may have picked up on that too. Sometimes there can be an uncomfortable feeling in the air when there's disagreements between leadership. Okay. Now, when it comes to being people coming into an area to show support, if you're coming into an area to show support, it's just out of respect, you take back seat. I came to Minneapolis, I sat and watched, saw how they do things. I don't, you know what I mean? I come to Akron, I see how they do things, I follow their lead, I show support. That's me personally. That's me personally. And what, in a nutshell, um, and I will speak on this because for safety reasons, right? There was a curfew and there were people coming there for a vigil. And the organizers wanted the speakers to speak and they wanted to do a vigil. They wanted to walk the path of the execution and lay down where uh, Jayland Walker was murdered, where he took his last breaths, and pay respects to him. And for me personally, that was something that I really felt like I needed to do. And when I get back out there, I'm going to do just that. But I wish I could have did it with the rest of these people. And I do regret that. The event didn't exactly go as planned. And again, no event does. You roll with the punches. I've done enough events. I've organized enough events. I've spoken, and I've done enough of these things to know that when shit goes haywire, you keep rolling with the punches and you make it happen. But you also feel the air. You pay attention to the feeling in the air, the energy in the air, and you ride it, right? I was supposed to speak, but the things that I had to say and then the momentum and where things were at that time, I wanted to make sure that that momentum was kept. So there was no need. And then some of the stuff that I wanted to touch on, Cortez, Pressure, Jolly Good Ginger, they all had touched on it and hit the nail on the thumb of the things that I wanted to touch on anyway. So I was like, all right, like my bros already said it. You know what I mean? Like, and we got to keep this momentum going. And then the brother that spoke before me was powerful. But what I did want to speak on was Ricardo Munoz mental health and how mental health is a big issue when it comes to these police killings of black men, not even just unarmed black men, but black men in general. People with mental health, mental illnesses and issues when it comes to mental health may be armed in some form or fashion. And I don't care if you're armed or unarmed, it doesn't warrant any kind of police lynching, period. So we can go into that too. The thing with this event was that there was some kind of disagreement when it came to the how the different pieces of the event were to unfold, right? Like some people wanted to march first and then do the vigil, and then some people wanted to do the vigil first and then march. In my opinion, it probably would have been better to do the vigil first and then march, because it should have been more people there for that vigil. But also, by the time the march was over and we got back to the vigil, it was dark and the police were there ready to start arresting people. Right. So then a lot of people left because they didn't want to get caught up in shit, which they missed the vigil, which also left the people at the vigil unprotected and alone. And from what Destiny said, it was like maybe 12 to 15 people left there, which is cool. But, oh shit. Okay, see, let me stop this real quick, yo. Me bringing that up was in a piece of what this episode is supposed to be about. And y'all, one of y'all is taking this completely haywire to the left, which is proving the whole point of why I brought it up to begin with. Deflection is what we're not going to do, and defensiveness is your business. None of this has any place here. If you want to say what you want to say what you want to say, DM me, whatever. But I have every right to say how I feel. What I'm speaking on is in reference to the Black narrative and a Black person's opinion, experience, narrative, understandings, all of that. Yes, again, I brought it up because it's my show. It's my feelings about one thing, and you're talking about something that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. You're bringing your feelings into it and tainting my experience. Anytime a Black person speaks about their experience, why does a white person come in and white-splain? You're proving my point. Please stop. That is the exact point of why it's taken so long for anything to even be said to you. This is not what we're going to do here. And that's why I'm not even trying to. The point of what I was trying to say was in reference to one specific thing that was a segue into the rest of my show. Please stop. Just please stop. Anyway, Destiny is a bright light and a really important individual doing the work in Akron. She's one of the people who organized this rally. And I wish I was able to stay and do the vigil with her. I felt like it was important. I felt like I was called there to be a part of that healing and grieving process. So when I get back out there, I'm going to make sure that I touch down and connect with her, possibly get an interview and talk about that very thing. Destiny, if you're watching or if you happen to watch at some point, I really appreciate you. I really cherish your being. And I want you and everyone else in Akron out there doing the work to please take care of yourselves, your energy, your space, and your time. Be mindful of the people that take up your space. Be mindful of keeping control of your narrative. That's important. No matter who comes to town, make sure that you keep control of the narrative. It's your city. We got your back. Point blank, period. Another thing, I still was very happy with the event and pleased, and to see the turnout and support was dope. By the end of the event, there was a lot of people. I saw people walking up to the event that were coming late. You know what I mean? So I got a lot from this. Please, if you have not seen the lives yet, go check out the event. I will be restreaming, and I will be back on in a bit to bring up another event that happened yesterday. One of our correspondents happened to go to DC and film some stuff that went down in like 5 parts. She broke it down, so I want to put all that into one part and restream that for y'all. But I will be restreaming more footage from our time in Akron, so that you can get the full interview with. We did show the interview with Activist Pressure, yesterday, so go check that out. We aired that. But there are some other pieces like the uh, piece I did with Marsha, the interview that was done with a local news station in front of Freedom Block, and more pieces from the rally, vigil, and march. So definitely stay tuned for that. Again, check out Destiny Stark's profile, Facebook page. She does leave an official statement talking about the whole rally and the march and her feelings about it. I feel like it's very important to read what she has to say. I really do. So please, when you get a chance, just go check out Destiny Stark's page. Again, much respect to you. Also, there's some other pieces of news. I know I've not been really following news to y'all lately much, delivering news to y'all lately much in the past few days because I've been covering everything happening with Jayland Walker and Akron so much. But definitely go to our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and our Instagram pages. We have been putting stuff out there. I just have not been vocal as far as lives on it too much. But we do have stuff for y'all to soak in. All right. And also lies from other people. Definitely check that out. I don't know if y'all heard this. Something we're going to talk about in another episode. So stay tuned for that. And this one right here, I will put the link in the comments for y'all to check out. Yo, it's crazy. It's just crazy how like a person can speak their feelings and it's just not heard, and someone can jump in and completely deflect and not even hear a word you're actually saying. It's sad, and it's frustrating as hell on top of it. It really is. And I can say things a million and one times and they won't go through. A white person can say this and they'll understand it. I don't get it. It's extremely infuriating. I will say that. All right, y'all. I think this webisode got got a little watered down, but I hope y'all understood that I was really trying to speak to the misunderstandings of the vigil and the march and rally, and uh, that it's also important to understand that sometimes it's important just to express solidarity in grievances. And there's multiple different ways to grieve. I think it's also important to back up the people that you come to, that you're supposed to come to support. And this is no disrespect to anybody, because I appreciate all the different modes of protest and grievances that were expressed. And again, I was very pleased with the rally and the turnout of the whole event. I really was. And I appreciate and love everyone's contributions to the event. Um, Again, I just want to show respect to one of the organizers, being Destiny, who expressed her feelings, and I understand where she was coming from, and I just want to show support and respect for that. And again, go check out her page so you can get more understanding of that as well. Um, Let me go for real, Matt. Let me go take care of myself real quick. I will be back with some more knowledge and information for y'all, especially concerning Akron and current events as well, what's going on around the world, what's going on in our nation that the mainstream media has not covered, because I got to fill y'all in about that, and also bring y'all coverage of the event that took place in DC in front of the Supreme Court yesterday. In the meantime, check out the rest of our footage from the Leon Block Independent Media and Twitter. Make sure you meditate on your path, celebrate your being, liberate your spirit, and educate yourself. I'm John Tell. Have a good one.